Hey guys, what's up and welcome to iCode. In this video, we are going to be learning about numbers in Python. So let's get started. So in the last video, I've told you that we are going to be doing all our coding in Jupyter Notebook, right? So let's actually launch the Jupyter Notebook and start coding. Also guys, in the last video, I've shown you a way to launch the Jupyter Notebook using Anaconda, right? So in this video, we are going to be looking at another way of launching Jupyter Notebook without using Anaconda Navigator. Okay, so let's actually see how. So all you got to do is tap on terminal. So if you're using Windows, you're going to be using what is called as command prompt. Okay, fine. So open the terminal and type in Jupyter Notebook. That's it. Enter. And there you go. We have launched the Jupyter Notebook. So this is the another way of launching Jupyter Notebook. So remember. And guys, in the last video, I've told you that if you remember, I've told you that never close this window. If you close this window, you're going to be terminating this particular session of Jupyter Notebook. So don't close this window till the end. Okay, fine. So let me just minimize this. So guys, now you're in the root directory. Tap on this desktop and now you will see all the files and folders on your desktop. If you just, look at my desktop, you will see all these folders, that is hacking, iCode, my files, and these are exactly the same folders. You are on the desktop. You are on the desktop right here. You can see right here, you're on the desktop. Okay, cool, fine. So let me just drag it and put it here. Okay, so now create a separate folder for our Python series. So to create a separate folder, what you got to do is tap on this new right here, tap on new and create a folder. So folder. Okay, let me just show you if this folder is created on your desktop or not. So let me just drag this, and if you see here, yes, there's a folder created right here. Cool. So let me just drag this again. So now to rename your folder, you can rename it here or right here. You can do it either way. So I'm going to show you how to rename the folder within Jupyter Notebook. Okay, so what you got to do is tap on this folder, and right here you can see it has an option to rename. So tap on rename and here give it a name. So I'm going to type in Python 3 series and tap on rename, and you can see that it's now renamed. If I just drag my window, you can see that this is renamed as well, as this is nothing but the desktop and we are doing all the stuff on the desktop as well. So now tap on this folder, and now we need to create a Python 3 notebook so that we can code right there. So to create a Python 3 notebook, what you got to do is tap on new right here. So tap on new and tap on this Python 3 notebook. That's it. So tap on Python 3, and guys, this is where we're gonna code. If you see, the file name is untitled, so let me just rename the file. So file, rename, and let me just change this name to numbers in Python. So numbers. Okay, let me just leave this with numbers. So rename, and now the file name is changed. If you just navigate to your Python 3 series, so just double tap on that, you can see that there's a .ipynb file that is created in Python 3 series folder. So guys, this is the Python 3 notebook, and this is where we're going to do all our coding. You're going to be using Jupyter Notebook for your exercises as well as to code Python from now. Okay, cool, everything is cool, fine. So before actually coding Python 3, let me actually show you some of the basics of Jupyter Notebook. So guys, this particular thing right here, this particular rectangle right here is called a cell. And this is where we're gonna code, we're gonna write some text, we're gonna write formulas, etc, etc. So basically there are different types of cells in Jupyter Notebook. So right now we're using a coding cell, a code cell where we can write Python 3 code. And if you want to see all the other types of cells, what you got to do is just tap on this, tap on this drop down, and you can see different types of cells right here. So right now we are using a coding cell. There's a markdown cell where you can write text, and there are other types of cells as well. But for our Python 3 series, you're going to be using this coding cell and markdown cell only. So now let me actually show you how to execute a cell. When you write some code or when you write some text, you need to execute that particular cell so to see your result, right? So let me just show you how to execute a particular cell in Jupyter Notebook. So let me now actually select markdown. So tap on markdown. I've told you that a markdown cell is where you can write text. So let me actually write something like, I code or something like that. So I code. So to execute a particular cell, all you got to do is tap on this execute button. You can see that this is a button to run cell. So tap on that and there you go. This particular cell is now executed and you can see the text called I code. You can tap here to edit this particular cell as well. So I just tapped on this particular cell and now if you double tap on that, you can edit this particular cell. So just double tap on it and now you can just edit it to Python. And if you want to execute, all you got to do is tap on run cell button. So tap on run cell and there you go. We have edited that particular cell. And guys, this cell is a markdown cell. Remember, a markdown cell is used to, write all the text in Jupyter Notebook. And now if you come to this particular cell, you can see that this particular cell is set to a coding cell, a code cell by default. So whenever you come to Jupyter Notebook, a cell is always a coding cell by default. Okay, so now let me actually write some code in Python. So don't worry about this. This is just to explain you how to execute a particular cell in another way besides just tapping on this run cell. Okay, so I'm going to write a simple Python code. So just don't worry about the code. So I'm going to type in 2 power 5. So to execute or run a particular cell, you can just tap on this particular run button or you can press shift plus enter. Okay, so shift plus enter and there you go, it's executed. So guys, there are basically two different ways you can run a cell. One is just by tapping on this particular run button and the other one is to just by pressing shift and enter. Now let me just make this a markdown cell and write some text called hackin and execute this cell by pressing shift plus enter. There you go. Now say that you want to insert another cell between this particular cell and this particular cell. So you want to insert a cell. It may be a markdown cell or a coding cell, but you want to insert it between these particular two cells. And of course you can do that. All you got to do is tap on this hacking cell, this particular cell, and now tap on this insert. So tap on insert and you can select this particular option, that is insert cell above. And as you can see, there's a cell inserted above this particular cell, which is of course between these particular two cells. And guys, if you want to delete a cell, all you got to do is select that particular cell and tap on this cut button, cut selected cells. That's it. So cut and there you go. So that is how you delete a particular cell in Jupyter Notebook. So guys, these are the basics that are required to get started with the Jupyter Notebook. In the later videos, I'll be showing you other techniques and tricks that you can do with the Jupyter Notebook. But for now, this is all what you need. Okay, fine. So now let's actually get into the coding. So let me just delete all these cells. So tap on this cell. So delete, 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 delete. So guys, in this video, I'm going to be explaining you about numbers in Python. So guys, basically in Python, there are two different types of numbers. So let me actually write here. So tap on this drop down and select markdown. So I can write some text here. So the first type of number is nothing but an integer. So integer. And the second type of number is a floating point number. Floating point number. So executed. Okay, let me actually write types of numbers in the same cell as well, for the clarity's sake. So types of numbers in Python. So great. So in Python, there are actually two types of numbers. One is integer type of numbers and the other one is floating point number. So let's actually start with integers. So guys, integers are nothing but all the negative numbers, all the positive numbers without a decimal. So for example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 0, 7, 8, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, and etc. all are integers. They don't have a decimal part. So basically integers are the one which don't have a decimal part. So for example, if you have a number like 1.8 or 1.812, this particular part before the dot is called a real part, and this particular part after the dot is called a decimal part. Okay, so let me actually write it here for clarity. So one is called, also let me just make this a markdown cell. So markdown cell. So 1 here is a real part and 2, sorry, 812, that is after the dot, is called a decimal part. So basically integers are the numbers which don't have a decimal part. So as you can see that none of these numbers have this particular dot character. So basically integers are the one who don't have a decimal part. You got it? Fine. Now let's actually move to the floating point numbers. So floating point numbers. Floating point numbers. And guys, floating point numbers are the one who have the decimal part. So basically 1.881 is a floating point number, minus 1.9 is a floating point number, 0.00001 is a floating point number. So basically floating point numbers are those who have the decimal part. So basically it has a real part as well as the decimal part. So that is the basic difference between integers and the floating point numbers. Integers don't have that decimal part, whereas the floating point numbers have this decimal part. You got it? You got the difference between the integers and the floating point numbers? Fine. So let's actually move on. Okay, let me ask you a question. What type of a number is 2 point? Just a point. That's it. It doesn't have any number after the dot character, but it has a dot. So what type of number exactly is this particular 2 point? You can actually take the help from Python 3 to know type of a number. And let me just show you how. So what you need to do is just, type in type of, so type of, and put a bracket here and here, and execute the cell. Okay, it's not type of, it's type. So let me just, get rid of this off, and there you go. And guys, make sure that this is a coding cell, okay? This is a Python code. Now let's execute the cell. So execute, and there you go. You can see that this particular number is actually a floating point number. And this is how you can use Python 3 to know what type of a number that you are working with. So now you know that this particular number, that is 2 point, is a floating point number. Okay. So now let's actually use the same thing for an integer. So for example, -4, and execute the cell, and you can see that this is an integer. Let's actually do some arithmetic with these numbers. So arithmetic, did I spell it right? I guess yes. So let me just execute this. Okay. And guys, this is one of the techniques in Jupyter Notebook. So whenever you use a markdown cell, you can use hash symbol to actually make your, this particular name or text a bigger. And if you use multiple hashes, you can make this, kind of small and small and small and small. I'm going to use only one hash so that you can actually see it big. So execute this, and there you go. So let's actually start with addition. Let's actually see how to add two numbers in Python. So I'm gonna add 2 plus 5. That's it. That is how you add two numbers in Python. So execute this cell. You can see the answer as 7. You can do it with floating points as well. So 1.9 plus 9.1. It is 11. And let's actually see what happens if we add an integer with a floating point number. So 2 plus 9.1. And there you go, you got the answer. So that means you can add two different types of numbers. You can add an integer with a floating point number. Okay? And similarly, you can do subtraction as well. For example, 5 minus 2, which is nothing but 3. 19.2 minus 9.1, sorry, 9.1, which is 10.1. And you can even subtract an integer from a floating point number. You can basically subtract any type of number from any other type of number. So for example, 1.9 minus 8. Execute this cell, and there you go, you got minus 6.1. So let me actually separate this. So let me just come here, tap here, and insert a cell above this particular cell. So insert cell above, and let me just put 4 hashes. And guys, make sure that this is a markdown cell. So markdown cell, and let me just write addition. And right here we are performing subtraction. So tap on this cell, insert another cell above this particular cell, make this markdown, and just put 4 hashes so that you can really get small bolded text. So subtraction, execute this cell, and there you go. So addition, subtraction. Now we're going to be performing multiplication. So this is a markdown cell again, and this is multiplication. So you can perform multiplication by just using this particular operator, asterisk. Okay, so basically 5 multiplied by 2 is 10. 10.1 multiplied by 7 is nothing but 70.7, and 0.00001 multiplied by 0.000001 multiplied by minus 1 or minus 2 is nothing but minus 2 e power minus 12. So here e is nothing but 10. So it's basically saying that this particular number is minus 2 into 10 power minus 12. Okay, so let me just write that here. So make this a markdown cell again. So this is nothing but minus 2. So minus 2 multiplied by 10 power minus 12. You got it? Fine. So let me just execute this cell. So now let's actually do some division. So mark down again. So division. So to divide two numbers, all you got to do is use the division operator. That is this particular operator. So for example, 5 divided by 2. So 5 divided by 2 is nothing but 2.5. And 6 divided by 3, we know the answer is 2. So great. And you can actually divide a floating point with integer or integer with floating. So 6 divided by 2.1 is 2.85777, etc, etc. And guys, if you observe here, whenever you use division operator, whenever you perform division in Python 3, the result is always a floating point number. Okay, so whenever you perform division in Python 3, you're gonna get a floating point number. Okay, fine, great. Now let's actually use reminder operator. So tap on this markdown again. So reminder. So in Python 3, you can find the reminder by using this particular percentage operator. So for example, the reminder when you divide 5 with 5 is of course 0. And there you go, the answer is 0. And the reminder when you divide 6 with 5 is 1, which is right. So this is how you find the reminders in Python 3 when a number is divided by another number. You got it? Fine. So now let's actually go to power. So markdown, we're going to be finding powers. So powers, so it's basically 5 power 2, that is 5 to the power of 2. Okay, let me just make this markdown so that I can explain it clearly. So basically 5 power 2, which is nothing but 5 multiplied by 2, which is equals to 25, right? So similarly 3 power 3, which is equals to 3 into 3 into 3, which is equals to 27. Sorry, this is 3 power 3. So this is what we're going to perform in Python 3 now. So let me just execute this cell. We can find powers in Python 3 by using this particular operator. 2 asterisks just beside each other. 2 asterisks together. Okay. So for example, 5 power 2, that is 5 power 2, which is 25. 3 power 3, which is 27, or 1.1 to the power of 1.1, which is 1.1105342 blah 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 blah. So this is how you find powers in Python 3. You got it? It's actually very easy, right? Python 3 is not complicated. It's easy. So guys, that's it for this arithmetic portion. So we have covered addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, reminder, and powers. Now let me actually execute an empty cell so that we could get some space. And now let me make a markdown cell right here and write a big text which is called a variable. So variable. So now let's actually discuss about variables in Python. So what is a variable? Variable is kind of a container. It stores values. It stores numbers. It stores strings, anything. So basically a variable is a container which stores something. For example, now we have created a lot of numbers, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, this particular 11.0, 11.1, 10.1, all are numbers. We can actually store a number in a variable so that we can use that particular number later. So that is what a variable is. Variable is a container in which you can actually store something. So let me actually show you how to create a variable. So let's actually name this variable, I code, which is equals to 5, and execute this cell. So now this particular I code is a variable. This is a container which has value 5. This particular equals to is called assignment operator. So let me actually create a cell above this cell and make this markdown, and right here that is, equals to is an assignment operator. So basically this particular equals to assigns 5 to this particular variable. So now this particular variable I code is holding a value of 5. And how to check it? Yeah, you can actually check it by just typing in I code in the next cell and executing that particular cell. And there you go. You can see that I code has a value of 5. And even you can store floating point numbers in variables. So for example, a is equals to 1.1 and a has a value of 1.1. And even you can do something like this. So b is equals to 5 multiplied by 2. So basically now 5 multiplied by 2 is 10 and 10 gets assigned to b. So b stores 10. B is now 10. So execute this cell and type b here, enter, and there you go. B has a value of 10 now. So guys, basically now b is nothing but 10. You can perform arithmetic operations on b as well. For example, b minus 5, which is nothing but 5. B plus 5, which will be 15. So 15. B multiplied by 5 is 50. So basically, as we can perform arithmetic operations on numbers, we can also perform arithmetic operations on the variables which store numbers. You got it? Fine. So let's actually do a to the power of b. So the value of a is 1.1, b is now 10. So 1.1 to the power of 10 will be 2.593742. And now let me actually ask you a question. What happens if I assign a value of 10 to I code? So let's actually see what is present in I code for now. So I code has a value of 5, which we stored right here. Now let me actually store I code with a value of 10. So what do you think will happen? So basically we have a container which has 5 and now we are putting 10 into that container. So guys, basically what happens is we remove that 5 and we put this particular number 10 into that container. So basically now our container will be having 10. That's it. We remove that 5, we replace it, whatever that is present in that particular variable, with our new value. Okay, so let me just execute this, and if we go and see what is present in I code, that will be 10. And guys, even you can do something like this, I code is equals to I code into 5. So basically, look closely here. So what is the value of I code into 5? Okay, let me actually add a cell, a coding cell. So the value of I code into 5 will be 50, right? So that means we are assigning 50 to this particular variable I code. So let's actually execute this and see what happens. So let's actually see what is the value that I code has. And there you go, it has 50. It replaced the value of 10 with 50. It stored a value of I code into 5, that is this 50, into this particular variable. You got it? If you have any doubt, you can just ask me in the Slack channel. So now I code has a value of 50. And guys, this is really important. Say that you did I code minus 40 and you got an answer of 10, which is of course right. 50 minus 40 is 10. That doesn't mean that we are removing 40 from the I code. I code still has 50. All we are doing is we are just calculating the value of 50 minus 40. Okay? So if you just see what is the value inside I code, that will still be 50. I code is fixed, it's 50. All we are doing here is just calculating what is the value of 50 minus 40. Okay, you can only change a value that is present in the variable by assigning it, by assigning another value. Okay, remember this. You can only change a value of a particular variable by using assignment operator. Only then the value inside that particular variable changes. Otherwise, it doesn't change. Let me show you an example. So for example, let me just create a variable called py, which has a value of 10. and now py has a value of 10. Okay, so now I'm calculating py minus 5, so which is of course 10 minus 5, that is 5. But that doesn't mean that this particular value of py, that is 10, will be reduced by 5. We can only change the value of a variable by using an assignment operator. Okay, so now what I'll do is py is equals to, so now we use the assignment operator, py minus 5. So what is py minus 5? 5, right here. So now py will be replaced with 5. We are using the assignment operator. We are changing the value whatever that is present in that particular variable py. You got it? This is very important, guys. You can only change the value inside a variable by using the assignment operator. Otherwise it won't change. So let me just execute this, and now if you just see what is inside that particular variable, that is 5. Okay, if you have any doubt about this, just come to the Slack channel. I'll be present all time over there, and people are really joining there. There are more than there are almost 50 people in our Slack channel, so you can get help from them as well as me, and sometimes you can even help me as well. After all, we are friends, right? Yes. So yeah, so this is how we create a variable. We store values in the variable, we do arithmetic operations on the variables, and guys, finally there's some rules to name variables. So let me just create a markdown cell and a big hash, not a big hash, a single hash, so that you can write text with big font. So rules to name variables. So the first rule, okay, let me just make this markdown again. So the first rule is a variable name should never start with a number. Should never start with a number. Okay, and the second rule, no spaces in the variable name. Okay, let me actually show you the examples as well. So example 12 icode is a bad name. It should never start with a number. And here the example would be icode Python. So this entire name cannot be used as a variable name. Instead, you could use an underscore. For example, you could use something like icode underscore Python. So this is a valid name, but you can never use a space in your variable name. You got it? Fine. And the third rule is no special symbols. No special symbols in your variable name. For example, @ dollar, percentage, blah 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 blah. You can't use all this in your variable name. So these are the 3 simple rules you should keep in your mind whenever you are creating variables. And even by mistake, if you just created a variable that starts with a number, for example 12 icode, Python 3 will give you an error saying that it's a syntax error. You can't do that, which is of course cool. So that is it, guys. That is for this video. In this video we have learned what are numbers, what are the different types of numbers, what are the different types of arithmetic operations that we can perform on numbers. We have learned what is a variable, what is the assignment operator, as well as we have seen some of the rules that we should keep in mind whenever we are creating variables in Python 3. So that's it, guys. That's it for this video. So as said, I'll be attaching the exercise file below this video. So check that out. So let me just show you how to open the exercise file. So I've saved my exercise file in this folder, that is iCode, inside Python, inside exercise files. So this is the exercise file for this particular topic. So let me just show you how to open this particular file using the Jupyter Notebook. So what you got to do is tap on this terminal, not this one. So new window, and launch the Jupyter Notebook. So Jupyter Notebook, enter. And now navigate to desktop, because I have my exercise file in iCode folder, which is on desktop. So iCode, Python, and this is my exercise file folder, and this is my exercise file. So tap on this file, and this is your exercise file. So complete all the following questions and check it with my solutions video, which will be published tomorrow. So guys, basically it contains almost about 20 questions. So answer these all questions, check it with my video tomorrow, so that you can really get the confidence that you have mastered this particular topic called numbers as well as variables, etc. etc. We're gonna do the same thing with all my other videos. Basically, you're gonna get an exercise file, work on that file, check it with my solutions video, and gain that confidence. So that's it for this video. Download the exercise file below. Don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow. And guys, don't forget to join my Slack channel if you have any doubt in any part of this exercise file or in the video as well. Till tomorrow. See ya.